ladies, let's get this party started.
My name is Santa Claus. Excuse me. Santa Claus.
Coming to town!
Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
Well, nothing. We're going to give them away free. Oh, that's fantastic. How do you turn your face so red so fast?
For real?
Where's your Christmas spirit? That's better.
So, if you believe in Father Christmas, children, like your Uncle Billy does...
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Yeah, did you get everything you wanted?
Almost.
Almost, huh? Well,
God save my little broken body. Missed.
Kids today, so desensitized by movies and television.
Where's the Tylenol?
Hello, folks, and welcome back to another D&D Movie Time. Merry Christmas. I know this is coming out on Christmas Eve, but tomorrow is Christmas. It's finally here. Time for Cora to get the gift she's wanted all year. The gift of watching both Home Alone movies back to back just for you. So, clearly she's already seen this. So we're not going to spoil what her score is going to be. But, Cora, what do you remember of this movie?
I think I did remember, Kevin being left at home by himself. His parents forgot it. Well, he's one who forgot his parents, but still. And then two robbers come, and Kevin sets up traps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that is basically the plot of the movie. Those are very interesting socks you're wearing. Why don't you show the audience your Christmas socks? What's on them?
Christmas tree and pizza.
Yeah. And you're all wearing a Home Alone shirt for the occasion, I see. You're all ready to go because you're all redded up.
Get it? Ready? Red?
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah. Alright, so we'll jump right into this. But before we do that, I just want to give my audience a special announcement that currently, right now, if you go on to Amazon, you should be able to download the first book of The Guardian of Light, the ebook, with its brand new ebook cover and audiobook cover uploaded just for you guys. You can go there, you can download the ebook for free and give it a read. If you are someone who likes to attend family functions but sit in the corner reading up something on your phone or tablet, this is the perfect opportunity for you to check out a great fantasy series, or at least the first chapter in this great fantasy series that so far, everybody who has read it has loved it, and I've heard a lot of people who have told me how great it is, but it's not a lot, so we need people to really check this out, and I'm giving it to you for free for Christmas. If you want it, just go download it. So, with that said, now let's jump right into the movie.
Bye.
When the McCallister family left on their Christmas vacation, they forgot one small thing. Have yourself
a terrible feeling. Did you lock up?
let yourself be light.
Can we set the timers on the lights?
Mm-hmm. What else can we be forgetting? Our troubles will be ours. Home alone. Police in the northern suburbs are on the lookout for a pair of burglars who are calling themselves the Wet Bandits.
We know that you're in there.
It's Santa Claus and his elf. Get off my property.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
Where's your mother?
My mom's in the car.
Where's your father?
She's at work.
What about your brothers and sisters?
I'm an only child.
Where do you live?
Can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because you're a stranger.
He's a kid. I mean, what can a kid do to us? Kids are stupid.
I know I was.
You still are, Mark.
This is it. I don't care if I have to get out on your runway and hitchhike. I am going to get home to my son. Where are you, you little creep? I'm gonna die! Where did you take your shoes off? Why are you dressed like a chicken?
Gus Polinski, Polka King of the Midwest. If you have to get to Chicago, we'll gladly drive you.
Hey, guys!
Yesterday, he was just a kid. But tonight, he's a home security system.
You guys give up? Or you're thirsty for more?
From John Hughes. You know, I got a feeling this is going to be your best Christmas ever. A family comedy without the family. Home Alone. Are you here all alone?
I'm 8 years old. You think I'd be here alone? I don't think so.
Directed by Chris Columbus. Coming November 16th.
Alright, so we just finished Home Alone, the first movie. Cora, what was your favorite part of this?
I'm not really sure.
You're not really sure? Do you think you could have done what Kevin did? Would you have been brave enough to put out all those traps and fight off the Wet Bandits?
Yes, but one, I'll probably need your help. And since they're going, I'll probably have to figure out another way to climb up things. Since most of the stuff we can't climb up on.
Yeah. But that's kind of the point, is that you wouldn't have my help. You wouldn't have the help of anybody. You'd be by yourself. So you're saying you couldn't do what Kevin did.
Kind of.
Because you're the same age as Kevin, so, I mean...
I said kind of.
Okay. So, did you recognize It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah, but just it wasn't in English.
Well, no, it's because they were in France when they were watching it, so they were watching the French cut or edition.
Yes, and for some reason I always forgot it, so now I don't even what they even said. Because why I can only understand English?
Well, they were saying no. It was that scene from It's a Wonderful Life where Mr. Potter tried to hire Bailey, and he was gonna think about it, but then he's like, no, you spin your webs, and you're like a little scurvy little spider. That scene, remember? And they were watching the black and white version. So we watched the colored version.
And also we watched it in English.
Yep.
Because I can only understand English.
Yep.
No other language. No other language. Just English.
Well, maybe you'll need to work on that and learn a different language.
I was born in English.
So you
what?
can still learn another language. What if you want to go to another country? You gotta learn to speak what they speak. Alright. Well, we'll be right back after this quick break. Merry Christmas, everybody. And I just wanted to add in real quickly here that book 1 of my epic fantasy series, The Guardian of Light, is going to be a free ebook this weekend. So if you're with your family and you're not the social kind of person and you want something you can read on your phone or tablet while still spending time with your family and friends, definitely consider checking it out. My book series, The Guardian of Light. And I promise, if you check it out, you might really enjoy it. If you are a fan of fantasy, this is definitely a series you will enjoy. So, and I mean, you cannot beat getting a free gift. And this is my gift to all the readers out there. And if you do enjoy it, maybe consider picking up the paperback in the future. Or if I get enough downloads and you guys ask me by leaving comments in this, in this review or in my Christmas Eve review, I might be willing to even throw out books 2 and 3 as free ebooks after Christmas. So visit the link to Amazon down below and download your free ebook today. Now let's get back to the review. Alright, so we are back and we're going to start with Cora. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Home Alone?
What did you think?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking you.
Just guess.
A 10 out of 10.
Yep.
We'll say it.
10 out of 10. Magic.
Why a 10 out of 10 for this one?
This movie's really great.
Yeah? Did you have a favorite part? Or a favorite character?
Of course Kevin was my favorite character. And yes, I know when I watched it Home Alone 2, that was a long time ago, but I still remember some scenes.
Yeah.
But I do remember the scenes when Kevin used the movie tricks to go ahead and try to get the bandits and other people like that pizza man to get the cheese pizza.
Yeah.
Which I have no idea. You could just do what normal people do and not just do that.
Yeah. And given what, I can fully understand that pizza delivery driver's angriness about getting gypped on the tip. 20 cents is not a tip. Make sure you tip if you ever order pizza, make sure you tip the driver well, their job is because you don't want to go get your food. Or in Kevin's case, he couldn't, so I mean, he probably should have tipped a little better. But, alright.
Yeah. If I was growing up and you still worked at that Pizza Hut,
Hopefully not.
what if you do? If it's like a perfect day to me to go ahead and go to Pizza Hut, if it's a work day, I can go ahead and just get my food actually at Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Because I know how much you don't want to drive, and I don't want to add extra.
Well, it's not that I don't like to drive. I do like to drive. I actually like my job. I still wish, that I could do what I really love and just write for a living, but until my books start to sell and I get a lot of reviews, that won't happen. So hopefully one day I'll get more reviews and people will share how much they love my books, because I got a lot of big plans for the series. So
No offense, but I think the videos with me are actually more popular because normally what you see is more subscribers, but like I said, no offense, okay? No offense. Anyways, back to the movie.
Anyways. But yeah, that is basically the realization of it, is that, if I could get more readers to check out my book, which is free on Amazon, the first ebook, I should say, is free on Amazon, link in the description below, then I can maybe end my job at Pizza Hut and go full-time writing, which is something I would love to do one day. It would definitely give me more time with you, and I would love nothing more than to meet my readers and, talk with them about, the series and what they loved about my books. But that might just be a dream. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the future.
Anyways, back to the movie.
Quit. Anyways, moving on to my score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give Home Alone probably a 9 out of 10. It is a really good Christmas movie. There are just a few things I have issues with, like probably the thing most people bring up when they see these movies, whether it be the first one or the second one, so I probably won't repeat this when we do the second half of this, but some of those traps should have seriously killed Harry and Marv.
Yeah, like that pin one.
The what?
Like that pin one.
Okay.
I know that pin could seriously hold it. And plus, when he fall down the stairs...
You mean nail? When Marv stepped on the nail in Tar?
Yeah, and plus, since he fall down the stairs...
Well, that wouldn't kill him.
Yeah, but it could have.
It would seriously hurt his foot, but the foot is not a major artery. It's not a major thing. But
there could be a 50% chance they could look at his neck and kill him.
No. First off, he didn't fall that far down the stairs. He was only like 3 or 4 stairs up when his foot hit that nail. And like I said, the foot's not a major body part. It's an important body part because it helps you stand up and have balance. But it's not a major part. What I'm talking about, Cora, is the ice on the outside. Those are those were some major injuries, slipping and falling. I have had moments where I've almost hurt myself majorly just walking up to people's door because there's so much ice in front of their door from the melted snow that froze back over. So I know exactly what it's like to walk on ice. Luckily, I'm smarter than Harry and Marv, because if I see that, if I know I'm stepping on it, I step in the snow and just avoid it.
Yeah, not to try.
When Harry got his head blown by a blowtorch, or when he grabbed that doorknob, those are some serious injuries that probably should have taken him out for, I mean, not killed him, but definitely caused him so much pain he didn't want to continue on. When Marv came through the window without shoes on and stepped on all that glass, on the glass ornaments, breaking them, that glass should have been in his feet for the rest of the night. So every step he took would have been pushing those glass shards deeper into his foot, which would have been causing him pain, and there would have been bloody footsteps. But of course, this is a kids' movie, so we're not going to show that or acknowledge it after the fact. So, like I said, it's just little things like that. The other thing I had a little bit of a problem with, which this is something nobody really brings up, is that the old man. When Buzz is telling that story about the old man at the beginning, now, from my understanding, Buzz and Kevin are brothers, meaning they've grown up in the same house. How is it that Kevin never heard this supposed story that Buzz was clearly making up on the spot? He should have called his brother out and said, "Oh, you're full of it. I don't know who that guy is, but you're full of it."
Yeah, but I think that's already I get it. The movie told us that it's not true. The old man told us it's not true, but...
Yeah, the old man did, but Cora, what I'm saying is, if something like that in that small little community was going on, the kids would have talked about it beforehand. The kids, you know about the house, you know about the supposed haunted house in town, right? Mm-hmm. Even though there are 50% of people who say, "Oh, the house isn't haunted, it's just a made-up story." And there's another 50% of the people in town that say, it is haunted. Why? No one can say why, but they just say, "Oh yeah, it's haunted. That's why it's still abandoned."
Well, something tells me it's haunted. Every time it's a holiday like Halloween and Christmas, I see no decorations.
That's because the house is abandoned.
Yes, I get it.
So no one's there to put up decorations. What, the ghost going to put decorations up? But I'm just saying, Kevin would have heard about this supposed killer living on their street if that were true. And because it's not brought up, it's like, oh, I don't think that's really true.
God, did you forget the part when they said no one found the body?
Again, Cora, it's called gossip. People would have been gossiping about this supposed person so much. If Buzz heard it, if Buzz really heard it from somebody, then everybody would have heard that story. Kevin would have heard that story. But Kevin, who lives in that house, never heard that story until that day. I call bull crap. So, no, that's a little nitpick maybe, but I mean, you did recognize that guy from Christine. Remember we watched Christine back in October? He was the guy that sold the car to the family.
Yeah.
But, alright, we are going to end this here and go ahead and jump into Home Alone 2. So we'll see you guys after.
Bye.
the halls with Mom and Harry. Make their Christmas not so merry. Give them bricks and give them riches. One more Christmas in the trenches. Toss some pancakes down to greet them. Send the toolbox down to meet them. Serve the meals for Christmas dinner. Kevin is declared the winner.
May I do the thinking, please? Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Going after slaves? That's kerosene! Now why would anybody sell coke from kerosene? Merry Christmas!
Alright, so we just finished Home Alone 2. So, Cora. First off, I want to bring up the fact of... I noticed something this time around that I never really noticed before. And this is something that, you know, I don't particularly usually care to address. But it was just so noticeable. And that was the ice cream scene. There was a major issue with the ice cream scene. If you really pay attention, the bowl fills and unfills constantly through that entire scene. 1 minute there's 2, then you see the guy putting in a 3rd, then you see him putting in the 2nd scoop, then you see him putting back in or asking Kevin if he wants 2 or 3 scoops. So, like, some of that was definitely shot way out of order.
Yeah, like, look, does he know how to count? There should be 1, then you should put in the second one, and then you should ask, do you want 2 or 3? And then Kevin should say 3, and then he could have put it in the 3rd one. But no!
And then there's also, like, there's tons of toppings, then there's only a little bit of toppings, then they're back to a ton of toppings.
Which makes no sense.
I wonder if Kevin actually got to eat any of the ice cream.
Yeah.
Or if he was sick of ice cream by the time they finished doing that scene, because they had to eat so much. So...
And also, here's something that I noticed from the very first movie.
What?
I noticed that every time that Kevin's afraid of, that character always helps at the end.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
Like the burglar. They become the friends. And then the burglar helped it.
Yep.
Like the same thing, like the axe guy.
You mean the shovel guy?
Yeah, the shovel guy.
And you actually knew the bird lady from a movie we've already reviewed. She was in So I Married an Axe Murderer. She was the mother. And the shovel guy, you knew him because he was in Christine. Which I want to point out to say, he looks, I think I said this in the Christine review, but he looks younger in this, even though Christine came out before. He looks so much older in, that movie. I don't know what he did, but man, this dude, he looked like he de-aged. He just looked younger and more healthy than he did in Christine. Maybe that was on purpose because of, the story of Christine, but I don't know. He just looked better in this.
Maybe they wanted him to look old and not very good in Christine, but in this one they wanted him to look good and healthy and all that.
Maybe. But anyway, so what's the story of this one? So, once again, we're with McCallisters, and Kevin gets into trouble before their trip, and this time he actually makes it to the airport.
But
Oh, I do want to point out real quick, there was a major flaw I noticed with the entire movie. And once you see this flaw, you will never unsee it. Cora, I didn't point this out to you during the movie, but it's something I noticed. So when they're at the airport, Kevin has that book bag on that has K. McCallister written on, anagrammed on the back. Or embroidered on the back. Then when he picks up the father's bag is like a shoulder bag that kind of like almost looks like a purse, but it's like one with a thin strap, so I guess it's like a man purse. And Kevin's digging through that looking for the batteries, and he has it all the way up until he gets on the plane. Once he gets on the plane, that bag never shows back up. You never see that bag again. Like when Kevin's bailing out of the hotel or arriving at the hotel, he only has the book bag that he had on. He isn't carrying that little shoulder bag anymore.
yeah, but maybe that shoulder bag could be in this book bag.
No, it was too big. And that would have been like, you know, that is another inconsistency with the movie. So I am starting to feel like this one maybe cut quite a few corners.
So I guess you're going to give this a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10?
No, well, we'll get to the scores in a minute.
I'm just guessing. Okay.
So basically, the Wet Bandits, they make a comeback. This time we have the added bonus of Tim Curry's performance. And if it weren't for Tim Curry, I wouldn't exist. I would never have been born if it wasn't for him. So
What do you mean?
I owe my life to Tim Curry. Because of something he did, that's how my parents met. And if that didn't exist, then I would never have been born.
Then I won't ever be born.
Right. And this channel wouldn't exist. And my books wouldn't exist.
And actually we have wouldn't even exist.
So, a special Merry Christmas and thank you to Tim Curry and all of Tim Curry's fans. I always look forward to when we do a Tim Curry movie. I can't wait for the day when Cora will brave up and decide to watch the original It.
No.
The movie that I owe my life to, The Reason I Exist, we'll probably do that when Cora's like 15 or 16.
What do you mean?
So if you're a big fan of Tim Curry, you know exactly which movie I'm talking about. So, we'll get to that eventually, Cora. But anyways, so like I said, we have the added performance of Tim Curry, and the Wet Bandits come back, although now they're the Sticky Bandits. And I do want to call bull on that one scene where they're plotting out what they're going to steal. Because when Marv is just grabbing things off people randomly, you're telling me nobody cared or noticed that their gloves or hat or scarf was gone?
Yeah,
I'd be like, excuse me, give me my stuff back. I mean, he's taking it right off the people, and they gotta be wearing this stuff.
and also if they did to me, I'll come back and slap them very hard that they will seriously give me it back.
So, Kevin winds up in New York, and then he goes about, sightseeing. We get as everybody's pointed out, we get a special cameo of Donald Trump back when he was popular. I think the only reason people really don't like Donald Trump is because of in the 90s, he was kind of on this he had his own reality show called The Apprentice, and he was very mean to some of the contestants, and I think that turned a lot of people off towards Donald Trump. But as far as the president goes, I think he did a good job. You know, but we'll see if he gets reelected in the future.
He's probably dead.
No, not yet.
Where is he?
He should be running in 2024. So, about a year and a half. But anyways, so Kevin ends up finding out that the Wet Bandits are back, and they have a plan to take a bunch of money from a charity to a children's hospital, and Kevin plans to stop them. Then the parents show up, and then you basically get the end of the movie, which is very similar to the end of the first movie. So if you've seen the first movie and you haven't seen this, honestly, I say go check it out. I'll tell you more when we do our rankings. But with that said, we'll be back right after this.
Bye.
For thousands of years, the world has been protected by the Guardian of Light, or as he is more commonly known, Santa Claus. Over the centuries, factors such as fear and prejudice, greed and jealousy, misunderstandings, betrayal and war have segregated most humans from the magical world of elves, fairies, wizards, and the like. This has resulted in many misconceptions and generalizations of the true nature of Santa and his world.
This 6-book series by Sean Connaughton begins as the current of a long series of guardians is murdered by a group of monstrous enemies recently escaped from an enchanted South Pole prison. These creatures are loyal to the darkness, an evil force determined to exterminate the light in order to enslave all creatures of the world.
Shane Connor, an average young man, suddenly finds himself being trained as the new guardian. As he adapts to his new life among fantastic creatures, he goes on an adventurous quest with a legendary wizard for the ultimate weapon to use against the darkness, and faces murderous enemies like Rasputin, Morgana Le Fay, Krampus, and many more.
Along with his best friend Joe Gomez, Shane encounters politics, history, mysterious murders, new loves, his own hidden past, and racial dynamics among the fantasy races that turn out to be all too real. Their adventures reveal the true nature of the world and challenge the current state of how all races interact.
This series expertly melds myths, legends, history, faiths, folklore, and secret societies into a fascinating, cohesive, comprehensive world of wonder and magic.
From Atlantis to Olympus, from Hades to the moon, and from broomstick races to Christmas deadlines, join the new Santa Claus on his amazing journey. But beware, will Shane's quest achieve his ultimate goal of destroying the darkness and preserving the light of the world? Or is he actually playing right into a plot by dark forces that will result in his, and our, ultimate doom?
So make your list and check it twice for the Guardian of Light book series. Download your audiobook or ebook today from Audible, Amazon, or iTunes.
Alright. So, we will start with Cora. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Home Alone 2, Lost in New York?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
Wait, no, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Yes, I would agree. There was some mistakes too. Like, I would agree on the ice cream one.
Yeah.
But the one with the slime, if I was one of the Wet Bandits, like Homo, not the one covered in paint. The one covered in paint?
I don't know. Marv?
Yeah, if I was Marv, I would have let the dark force that I can dodge that hole. And if I didn't do that, I could have. That slide was right there. If Marv could see it, I'm pretty sure I could have seen it because I have glasses. Marv does not have glasses.
Yeah, but he's stupid. He doesn't watch where he's walking. Speaking of that, that is one thing I really always irritates the crap out of me, is when he first walks in the door, there's that gaping big hole, and we see Kevin move boards off of that gaping big hole right in front of the door. Honestly, I think it would have been better. Maybe there's a certain reason why, but they could have had that. I mean, Kevin knew enough to cut halfway through the ladder. Why couldn't he cut halfway through the boards and slide the boards back over the hole so that they would actually step onto the board and fall through? I think that would have been more believable than have a gaping big hole and he doesn't see it and falls right in it. Yeah, it's funny, but it's not believable that he's not going to notice that big hole in front of him. You know?
Well, Kevin maybe knows what those wet, sticky bandits, whatever you want to call them. Maybe Kevin knows what they're going to do.
Yeah, he read the script. Ha ha ha. That's pretty funny. Anyways, let's move on to my final score. And my final score is also going to be a 9 out of 10. I really enjoy this movie. It's a lot of fun. I will say, although they make a couple mistakes, and although they do a lot of repeat of the original movie, something about this movie feels bigger and grander than the first movie, because he's not just in a little house. He's not just, or a big house. He's not just in one location. He's going all over, you know? So, it is bigger and it is grander, but there are a lot of times they do repeat. So...
Yeah, but what's Home Alone without the classic traps?
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, you know, when you're looking at it, you're looking at a movie that is, you know, part of a series, which, honestly, they can stop it too. Even though I had a really, really great idea for a third, a real third, not like the crappy Home Alone 3 we got, which didn't even have the McCallisters or the Wet Bandits. But my basic thought was something way different and would have been much better. And with the way movies are done nowadays, even some TV shows are done, this would actually make more sense if they could pull it off. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. So, before I do that, Cora, which Home Alone between these two would you rather watch? The first one or the second one? If you only got a chance to watch one, which would you pick?
One, because Home Alone 1 had less mistakes. But this one,
honestly, I'd have to go with 2 still, because I think 2 is a much funnier movie. Like I said, it feels bigger, it feels grander. It's got all the same things from the first movie, basically. I just feel it's much grander than the other one. The other one's nice, and it's a good start. You know, I just like, you know, this one a bit more. Maybe that's because of Tim Curry. Because one of my all-time favorite scenes from both of these movies is the scene where they all come running in and Kevin pulls the same gag with the tape of that movie, and he's like, "Get down on your knees and tell me you love me." And all the hotel people actually get on their knees, and Tim Curry's like, "I love you." I mean, just thinking about that makes me laugh, you know? His delivery, yes, he's from England, but his delivery on some of those lines is just priceless. Like, when he's saying goodbye to somebody, he's like, have a lovely day.
Have a lovely day.
Like, you know, he's English, but it's almost like he's trying to sneak in some Australian accent in there, too. So...
Have a lovely day.
I definitely say, in my opinion, I would still go with 2 over the first one. But you said 1, so...
Yeah, because there's less mistakes. But this one, this much.
But, real quick, before we go, I'll just explain. So my idea for a third involving the McCallisters would be, I guess you'd have to pick it up now, so many years later. So Kevin's married. He's the head of his own security company. And he's got to go make a presentation to some investors or something in New York. And his wife helps run the company. So they need to go out on Christmas Eve. And they're going to be back that night. Or at least they're supposed to get back that night. And the family is on their way from Chicago. They're going to get there in the morning. So you can bring back the parents and Buzz and the sisters and brothers and all of the family, basically, are going to show up at Kevin's because Kevin has a huge house. And Kevin has 2 kids. A boy and a girl. And the nanny is the bird lady from Home Alone 2.
Which is this one.
So, the wet bandits, or sticky bandits, they get out of prison and they make a plan to get revenge on Kevin once and for all. And
at least give him a different name, like they decide to get themselves a different name.
Well, they could do that too. But they hire some other criminals that they met in jail or that they met in prison to help them. And their plan is to kidnap Kevin's kids and hold them for ransom. And so they break in. And because of the extra help this time around, they actually do a good job. They break in, they subdue the nanny, and they are trying to get at the kids. Only the kids have basically run away. And so now the kids are on the run, and they're making traps on the run as they go. Or something like that. You know, there could be something. Or they, you know, somehow learn about the wet bandits coming beforehand. I'm just saying wet bandits because it's easier. Because that's what they were first called. But, you know, they could do something along those lines. That way you get all the original characters back. It explains why the kids are home alone. You know.
Yeah, but I have one thing to say.
What?
This one sounds a lot more not kid friendly.
It would be kid friendly, trust me.
Yeah, but
I didn't say they killed anybody, I just said they kidnapped.
no, but it's not enough.
And they... What?
Was Mom supposed to be stupid?
Marv was stupid.
Yeah, so he said has to be stupid.
Okay, he can be stupid, but the new criminals can be smart. They get through Kevin's digital security, and the kids come up with new classic traps like their father did. Basically saying these are definitely his children. And that you could get you could even have scenes with like the children saying, well, we don't want to be like you and stuff, yet they have to resort to the same tactics Kevin pulled when he was a child. So, alright, well that's going to wrap up. We hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and enjoy your holiday. Before we go, like I said back at the beginning, my ebook of The Guardian of Light is free right now. Get your hands on this ebook while you can. It's a perfect book to start around the holiday season. At least to start it. And then as you go on, you can get it throughout the year. And it's really good to just read throughout the year. And maybe by next Christmas, you pick up book 4, which will be 1 full year in the timeline of the book.
Make sure to get it while you still can.
Yep, it's free right now on Amazon. Just look up The Guardian of Light or Sean Connaughton to get your free ebook. And maybe even if you don't like to read, but you have a loved one or a friend that's a really big reader, suggest it to them. Say, hey, there's this guy, he writes fantasy. He's got an ebook for free. It's really good, or I hear it's really good. You know, you can check it out for yourself. All I'd like to do is, it would be a Christmas dream and a Christmas miracle if at least 1,000 people downloaded the book. I get nothing for it. So I want to give this to at least 1,000 people and hopefully get a lot of reviews. So maybe people will, you know, get to hear about this more. And you can say you got in before it was popular. So it's an epic Christmas fantasy set in modern day. I really think you'll all enjoy it. Everybody who has checked it out just about has enjoyed it. Also, we do live stream on Twitch sometimes. So you can follow us on Twitch. And with that said, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.